trench cover. That's literally it. This is your TN to hit. If they have a 3, if they need a 3 to hit you, if you're in light cover, they need a 4 to hit you. Some of them do have perfect defense, which is a terrible fucking name, but I have no idea what else to call it. Outside of that, magic had to get changed around a little bit just because to accommodate the new distances and such. Where were you? Da 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 da. We got all the vehicles. Okay. We added some things here. This is from Gate. Fun fact. But we have all our axes and all our weapons. These didn't change too much. And the only thing that I kind of shifted around some of the damage values by not much. I have the tags in finally. The tags are pretty average, nothing too insane except the complex and fast reload. Those are really the only two that are like decisively different. Safety and steel. Armor didn't really get changed at all. It worked. Like there wasn't anything I could really do. The pricing list is pretty cheap, but the idea is that resources aren't real, and that you, the GM, should be charging people real money for these ones that are actually in the field. Which is actually a side note I should write real fast. Thank you for reminding me, Side note. Resources here and prices there. In-game resources are not real. They are the disposable assets and incomes that the Wanderers have, allowing them to purchase their equipment. This could represent this set a corporate budget. A tribal gift, or some crowdsourced Bitcoin mine gear sponsored by NordVPN. Out there, the costs will change on the region and everything else. You won't find a gun outside the Shinchaku, outside the Shinchaku zones where humans are. But you may not even find proper metal elsewhere. Money. But yeah, no, it's pretty much saying understand that money is real. No, money is real, resources are not. Resources is a game mechanic to help you buy things early on. It is not a method for you to say, I am rich, I am poor. No. That's the wrong amount of money you have. Then we had cybernetics. And pretty much I decided to make this a little bit simpler. We have cyber limbs, which is literally buy a limb. You just replace one of your limbs, and you have slots for enhancements you can get later. I don't really put in any enhancements just because I'm like, I don't really feel like it, and I really don't know what else to fucking put in. So it's like, hey, this is kind of what it means. Your perfect defense is just your armor hello phone. And most of them are like pretty cheap. Like you get a lot of it, like Industrial and Titan series are like going to be the ones that you're really going to pick up as your first level character. If you want to go full conversion, replace every single one of your limbs with skeleton limbs. They're shitty and they're barely functional, but they'll do you. And that means you can also replace them with real things later on. That's the idea. Cyber senses, one resource, and get a dice. That's it. The really weird ones, I only have 2 really invasive surgical augmentations, which is drone mothers and kind of how a small collection of drones, as well as the data jack. And yeah, enhancements, just like, da 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 da. Went over magical tools. Most importantly is very simple magic tools already are things that you can do. I don't have a flashlight, I have a glowing mining torch. I don't have a comm pad, I have a speaking stone. It's things that you can already accomplish using technology pretty reliably, just magic. It's pretty dull and pretty boring, but also really open. Advanced magic tools is when things get a little bit complicated. They cost 3 resources each, which is quite a bit, actually. Most guns are cheaper than these. But these are things that are, like, distinctly, like, not possible by, by technology, really. It's like the Orc-Bane sword. Guess what? It's the glowing swords from Lord of the Rings that can sense orcs and goblins and stuff. They're very racist. Don't use them. Don't walk in. Why is your sword glowing, sir? As you talk to your goblin, friend. Like, wands act pretty simply. They're pretty much free spells. Well, not free, but they're spells that you have on you. The catch is humans can't use them. Humans can't really use any of it. And if they use any magic tools at all, they'll spike their essence by 1. Because remember, you only have 6. And if you keep them on you, you increase it by 0.25 daily. So in 4 days, you will also have 1. It is very likely that you can kill yourself using one of these. But again, residents aren't affected by it. Exterior items, as pretty standard. We have all the various types of ammunitions that I thought were important. So we have some basic medical supplies, various grenades, and then a lot of survival stuff. This seems like a lot, it really isn't. Like, I'm like, what would I need to bring into the zone? And it would be this. But one of the key things we're going to be doing right now is wrapping things up with a very simple thing, which is going to be campaign setting, campaign styles, and methods. Overall, I've devised. There's going to be about 4 main methods, and it's going to be break them down into very simple, simple terms, which is going to be a mercenary. Let's see, actually going to be mercenary contracting. This is going to be the most basic one. This is like, you're just getting hired to do things. And with this setting in mind. That's it. You're going to have, what did I end up calling it? Oh yeah, world jumpers. Your stalkers. And then we're going to have, Shinchaku security forces, which is more you're playing on the other side, kind of managing the fact that humans are here. And then we're going to have being UN agents. That's pretty much all I'm going to be writing. This is it. So don't be too impressed. Or don't be really impressed at all. This is why I was like, do I really need to do like a full stream tomorrow to justify? No. So, the two worlds. See, the two worlds merge together. Are home to and wealth to be had on all sides. wanders. Actually, what I should also do, we should do. Yeah, wanderers are by their nature transient and always hunting for the next big thing. Overall, a campaign using Anthrodesis Dissonance can roughly fall into five broad categories. And then we do mercenary contracting. Mercenary work spiked in recent years as both sides desperately hire anyone willing to fight for them. PMC, human PMCs, let's say, quote, loan out professional soldiers to countries in Shinchaku, and even though humanity puts on the face of unity, corporate interests and nation state conflicts are still the norm on Earth. Let's get that out. Get my hat out of the way. There we go. This method of play has the characters take on jobs for factions, completing them for wealth, profit, and the promise of a better life. By far the most standard method of play. This is also one of the more open methods, allowing players and the GM to explore the world. Yeah. Someone said stupid shit on someone said stupid shit in fucking Discord. People said stupid shit. Mechanics don't matter in a game. My God. Explore the world. Alright, so we need to use... World jumpers. With the spread of the new world, many people living in dangerous zones on Earth, quickly desired to migrate to Shinchaku for a better life. World jumpers were the stupid corporate that signed a world jumper contract. A 3-year tour of duty for your corporation and faction, or host. And then a fancy new residence in the new world. The catch is simple. World jumpers are expected to strike out into the world of Shinchaku, recover artifacts, recover information, and survey data for their host, effectively acting as their hands in the field. Being a world jumper is dangerous work. It is dangerous work for most, but for those who do well, some are able to retire. Many strike out again, or sign a second contract. Though many strike out again or sign a second contract for the rush. So, roughly speaking, world jumpers is you're going to be working for a specific place. You're going to be working for a specific thing. Also, fuck you, Bala. You're working for a specific thing, really. Let's say, for example, I'm working for a oil company, and we have all signed on for this oil company as world jumpers. And due to the fact that we're world jumpers, our entire goal is we have to find. Oh, it's pouring outside. We have to find places where they can set up oil, and that means we're going out very far beyond where humans are, as effectively pseudo-stalkers. You are playing people who are going to the other world to find shit. And who you're doing that, how do you survive? Well, it's kind of dependent on how well you do. And that's where kind of the struggle comes in. It's a little bit of the different game. Instead of having like free reign over everybody, you have a very set of tasks to do, but they're usually fairly broad, and your opinion on things is very you the player, rather than kind of the contract. It's not, okay, go over here and kill these people because you need money. It's, we do not give a shit about this local conflict. However, we need those mining rights. We have been contracted for mining rights. If we break contract, we get sent back. We get our asses sent back with no money. We get in a worse situation. So we need to mitigate the conflict. It is very hostile, very unfun. So we got these. Shinchaku. With the arrival of humanity, many of Shinchaku's elder races, Shinchaku's peoples and cultures, peoples quickly found themselves in a moment of desperation. During this time, many small organizations popped up secretly amidst. That's not right. Amidst. Blah. Admit. There we go. Amidst. Fucking hell. Popped up secretly amidst governments to protect against humanity's overwhelming firepower and hair trigger. As agents of one of these quote clandestine organizations, the characters are tasked with preserving the balance and making sure that things go smoothly. As a member of the security forces, the characters act as a fantasy CIA, a fantasy intelligence organization, trying to root out causes, ascertain threats, and deal with both sides of the conflict without sparking another war that the residents have no chance of winning. The catch with these ones are pretty simple. You're playing Elf CIA, and Elf CIA does not want to... Nobody wants the second war, because nobody wants people to, pull the trigger, and then suddenly humanity's like, well, fuck it, and we'll just crush you all. Because we all have the overwhelming firepower to do such. And we're not afraid to use it. Because again, to humanity, this is we're working together right now. That's how humans in the UN are seeing it. We are extending a hand of thanks and we're saying, hey, we're friends, right? Because our planet is dying. Our world is going to die eventually. We need to get people off of it. We need to save ourselves. They're all like, well, no. I wanted to be a little bit... Like, one of the things about this I realized kind of realized a little bit earlier on is this does have some interesting implications of who's the good guy and who's the bad guy. Are people trying to save themselves good or bad? Are people trying to preserve an old order that is stagnated to the point and runs effectively on oppression and, being a backwards culture, supporting itself on the oppression of lesser people? Good. But also is effectively forcefully colonizing another person's land, another person's territory, world even, and kind of already bringing your own problems over with them. Is that morally right? And it's like that really complex thing that I wanted to get across. It's like, nobody is good in this setting. It's just people. People make mistakes. And nobody really wants that second war to kick off and everyone start shooting each other again. Because man would win. So actually, we'll do UN. It would be UN Task Force. the United Nations. United Nations is the technical owner of the Shinchaku zone, and any other part of the other world, any other part of Shinchaku operated by a nation state from Earth. However, being unable to corral every nation and corporation, the UN employs task forces underrepresented nationalities to assist in strong arming local Shinchaku politics, or making sure that the gates remain open for everybody, for everyone. As a UN task force, this is a fairly traditional military-focused, military campaign. There is a direct method of doing things, and the characters will have to answer to their CO. But with Shinchaku being a nightmare for military logistics, many are expected to be good soldiers and not commit any atrocity. Actually, military logistics, many squads are given free reign to do what they must to complete the mission. In other words, alright guys, we have been deployed to this elven kingdom currently that's undergoing some civil unrest, and we need to now deal with it to make sure that none of the civilians get hurt. That's our only goal. We do not care about government forces versus rebel forces. All we care about is protecting civilians and making sure the industry of humanity stays in line. And by underrepresented nationalities, it's whoever doesn't own a gate are kind of signing up to the UN to be we want it, kind of dedicating more and more people to we want it in. It's the Italians don't own a gate, but they want to, so they're sending more soldiers into the UN task forces to do things. So if you want to play a bunch of Italians, in Elfland being more pizza pasta, oh no, you're fucking a shooter elfa, go for it. It's very broad, very open, and you're kind of expected to this is a very alien and very hostile place. As long as you survive, you're doing something right. Which brings me to wanderings. People, actually what I should say is the call of the void. Void is a unique phenomenon for many individuals. That small desire in the back of one's head to jump headfirst into danger, with little the way of reward. However, exploring Shinchaku independently leads to some interesting results and possible extravagant wealth. Without ties, character will set out to do as they please. Wanderings is the quote simple method of play to say do whatever you want. Do whatever you want in setting. Rather than the world, both worlds are vast and full of adventures to have, rather than be constrained. Embrace the strangeness. Embrace the strangeness, so I can actually spell, of the setting, and explore the worlds or their riches. Wanderings isn't really a part, it's literally the just do something. Like, just doesn't matter, just do something. You wanna have fun? Go for it. Like, fuck it. I'm actually in strong arming, local Shinchaku politics, logistics. It's thundering outside again. It's been thundering a lot recently, actually. Luckily, never really during the day. Always kind of like right at night. Shichan. For quickly cooperation. We want to do world jumpers here. Okay, slap an image right there, and we're done, I believe. So, with the end here, I think I've got everything. I'll probably do another like quick look around to make sure I didn't miss like one key thing somewhere in it, which I inevitably did. But as of right now, Anthrodesis Dissonance is done. And we made pretty good time, actually. 78 pages, 16,000 words. That's pretty good, pretty good. Do I like this game? And will I say I enjoyed making this? No. Will I say I like this game? No. That's odd, isn't it? You know, it's just like, I don't like this thing I made, and I don't know how to fix it. I think one of the issues I had most with Anthrodesis, well, two things I had issues with. Starting all the way back kind of a Black Mohawk, the game, I couldn't find a basis for the game at all. I couldn't find that part of it that really made it work. Shadowrun is so large and so massive that trying to simplify it down simply didn't work. And some of the Eastern Europeans actually said, being this like, you've changed so much things, are you really even making a Shadowrun game anymore? And I'm thinking like, well, I don't know anymore. And then I think like the tipping point was when I asked Shadowrun General, I'm like, all right, guys, do you actually think qualities are important? How important do you think qualities are? And they gave me, and these were like a minute apart from each other. It was just like, qualities are important, qualities are not important. And then I'm like, I have no idea what the fuck you people want. I have no idea of what everyone actually wants from Shadowrun. And this entire project was about making Shadowrun. Then I had my revelation, which was like, I don't actually like making Shadowrun stuff. I like aspects of Shadowrun. Let's see if I can do something with that. Hence why that's why we switched over to Anthrodesis. Kind of like free myself from the shackles of the Shadowrun name. However, freeing myself from the shackles led to its own issues where I didn't really have any of that basis to go off of outside that kind of the skeleton of Black Mohawk. And because I only had that skeleton to go off of, it didn't... How do I word this? Something was wrong with it from the get-go. Something at the DNA level. And I wasn't in the game as much as I should have been. I liked ideas, I liked concepts, but I was like, okay, I have to succeed the 4 pillars thing. Because I already wrote it. I need to do this. I need to do that. Like, it was already written by the time I had started it, almost. And it was like, so I'm making just a Shadowrun game with a new setting. And to compensate that, I was like, well, I'm just going to have to throw in a bunch of stuff that I already have. Hence why there are parts of this game I'm not happy with. Like, where was it? Like, zones and cover, not happy with that. Like, the entire spell system here is completely derived from Wadanahara. Like, that's the only... Actually, I should use heading 3. Like, this entire system was derived from Wadanahara rather than its own unique thing. The only thing that I would, like, really honest to God say I'm actually kind of happy with is hacking. Like, hacking is the only thing that I'm, like, relatively okay with, and it's only 2 pages. Actually, it's, like, 1.5 pages. Actually, it's about 2. But, like, vehicles, this was taken almost entirely from, it was, not Witch Doctor, the, Hearts of Darkness. Like, I've used these a bunch of times. Social Interactions doesn't have anything in it. There's, like, no mechanics in it. A lot of the equipment was taken wholesale, just because I'm like, what else do I put in there? Like, there's nothing really unique. It wasn't, like, I have a feeling it reminds me, ironically enough, a lot of Refuse to Repeat, Soldat Sans Identité. So, because Soldat Sans Identité, the first version of it, first edition, you could say, was very derivative of other games I was doing. I was just kind of slapping parts together to make something interesting. And then when I had a better idea, I had a better concept, and then I had it in, like, the flex ratings, and I had it in, you know, flow motion combat to really give that game a little bit more personality and to really accentuate the ideas I had in it. The problem is, that took me almost a year to do, to get all those parts, because I'm like, I need to find stuff. I need to get information. I just need to think of something, and it just wasn't clicking as much as I was hoping it would. And because it wasn't clicking, it just didn't do anything. And that's kind of the issue I'm suffering here, is Anthrodesis seems more like a cobbled together assortment of ideas rather than a concrete product. And I'm not entirely happy with that idea. The problem is, I have literally no fucking idea of how to fix it. Gonna be frank with you, I have no idea how to fix this. Absolutely none. And that's kind of like my biggest issue right now. But because I have no idea of how to fix things, I'm currently, like, sitting here with a thumb up my ass being like, well, I guess I'll just hope for the best to make sure it might work. I don't know, it might work, it might not, I don't know. I'm not happy with that. I'm really not, but is it done though? Can you play Anthrodesis Dissonance? Yeah, you can play Anthrodesis Dissonance right now. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. You're just going to be playing Anthrodesis Dissonance, and it's not my best, by far. It's not my best stuff. And I'm not entirely happy with every single aspect of it. And it's like, I wish I could... It's one of those things, like, I wish there was, like, some beautiful answer somewhere that I could just click a little button and then it would just like, ah, yes, of course. This is it. This is how I fix it. This is how it works, and everything now will just click together beautifully. I don't know. I don't know that. Most likely, I think the big thing with this one is it needs a focus. It needs something to make it unique. Like all the, like the 4-pillar idea, like this was all this black mohawk talking. And it needs something. I think the worst part is, like, I can see something working, but I need to make a decision on, like, how I want to handle it. Do I want to go down more of the stalker route and make it literally like fantasy gate stalker? Yeah, that could be interesting. Or do I want to kind of focus more on the aspects of the cyberpunkiness? Or do I want to do the aspects of more of the fantasy world? Do I want to make it more like Gate? Do I want to make it more like do I just want to make it a fucking modern fantasy setting with it? I don't know. That's kind of my issue right now, is that it's so broad and so open that there isn't really anything to really grab onto and just bite into. But the game works, and mechanically speaking, does the game function? Yeah, I guess. It's the D6 system. It's cool. I scored a success. I passed the check. I rolled 3d6. Like, let's see. There's 2 more successes. I passed, everyone. Ta-da! Like, the D6 system. It's not complex. I don't know where I want to take this game. I don't know how I would even want to do it. Even the name, I'm not even happy with the name. I just need something about this game to make it function right. And I don't know what that thing is. But as of right now, Anthrodesis Dissonance is done. You can play it right now if you feel like it. And you can get gradually more confused with it as I am, because it just doesn't want to work. Or just play D&D 5th edition with guns, because that's apparently... People think you can actually run D&D with fucking firearms, and the answer to those people are they're crazy and don't know what they're talking about and should all go to the sadness place where they belong. And if you are one of those people who thinks you can actually play D&D with firearms, silence. Please, God, shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up. Because it's like, no, this isn't how... I'm not going to say this isn't how D&D is supposed to be played, but you're trying to fit a square fucking peg through a little round hole, and you just keep slamming it in there. Yeah, it'll get in there, you'll break everything, but it'll get in there, but... let's see, actually I gotta change this to works. Actually, what I should do is do functional. And so where are we right now? So let's do things Notepad Anon wants to do. Let's see, where are you? Anthrodesis Dissonance. Say hello. The things that need to get uploaded. So, what are we going to be doing this Wednesday? Well, this Wednesday tomorrow, we are going to be pretty much taking every single one of these and we're going to make a Miro of them. We're going to sit down and we're going to just kind of get the basic ideas down on paper so we know where to start at least. And if we at least know where we can start, we at least have an idea of what to do. And let me see. For some reason, Das Bunka actually got a few people saying, like, this is fun and we should do this. I hate you people sometimes, but for the weekend projects, it is going to be Flesh Mech Annihilator is going to be our first one into, I believe, what was it? Let me go to Pole Town and let me see. It was yes, that one into Das Bunka. Then we get to move on to, I believe, Sparkle Hearts. Yeah, no, it's Space Station D66, which is hot in space. And then Heart Links. Actually, no, Sparkle Hearts, which may get changed. I don't know yet. Yeah, welcome to bootleg products where I just make bullshit. Luckily, like, a lot of the projects aren't going to be that complicated. But it's just going to be a lot of work. We also got Unfortunately, we are very anime this time around. And by very anime, I mean we are incredibly fucking anime. Like, let's see. This one's anime. This one's anime. This one isn't anime, but it can be anime. And this one's anime. You know, we got 3 out of the 5 are pretty fucking weeby. So that's something we have to that's something we're going to have to deal with, because we can't have nice things here at good old SPRUG Workshop. So I'm going to call it there for now. My name is Notepad, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Godspeed, good luck. I will catch you all tomorrow, because that's when we're starting this. Why Toho?